we're going to take it apart. Get it all together, you make it work, and now it's time to tear it completely apart again to powder coat it. So I've done powder coating in the past, and it's really fun. I like powder coating. Things I have powder coated in the past include, let's see, I've got some tools. I powder coated this pair of pliers, and I did it years and years and years ago, and they're just some old metal pliers that I hate losing tools, so if you can make your tools vibrant, you're less likely to lose them. And they've been beat up and they've been used a lot, and you can tell that it's been hard on the powder coat, but it's held up really well. It's a pair of pliers. I mean, they're going to get beat up. I also powder coated the old pit bike. This is my Aggie pit bike. I powder coated the frame, both the black frame rails down below the motor, as well as the orange springs, the orange inside of the wheels. You may not be able to see that. Is all powder coat. I also powder coated the full suspension wagon around the same time, which has probably been, I don't know, 8 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. The powder coater has been sitting. I haven't really done much with it since those projects. Dusted it back out. Dusted it back off and got it out tonight. It's just the Harbor Freight little cheapy powder coat system. And we're going to start off by powder coating these parts. I have some matte black, or as I like to call it, flat black powder coat. And I have my made from an old barbecue spare parts holder. So what I'm going to do is I'll take a piece of wire and I'll put it through something on each part and hang it. And we'll hang it here. Oops. We'll hang it here, spray it with powder coater, and then transfer it from here over to the oven where it will bake. Let's get started. But, you know, we fill it up to where we know there's enough to get through today's project. And then whatever's left over we'll save for tomorrow's project. Oops, I put most of it in there. It all dumped out at once. Oh well. And then this lid has a gasket in it, so that way it'll seal up nice. So now let's take our gun, put our powder on it. Okay, and it's hooked up to the air compressor. Now we're going to grab our little ground clamp here and clamp it up here to our wire. Okay, let's flip the machine on. We got a little foot pedal down here. When you push this foot pedal, you energize the electrode inside the deal. And once it's energized, let's see if you can see this. There's electricity in there. That energizes the powder as it flows out, which is then attracted to the ground. So if we push this pedal and then spray this, we make a huge mess. But you see that powder sticks to that. Now let's bring our pedal around here to where I can reach it from this side. Come on, pedal. And get the underside here. There we go, that's more like it. Just a fine mist. way too much powder in the gun. Makes a giant mess. All right, that part's ready to go in the oven. All right, I just pulled this part out of the oven. It's the kickstand. Sorry I didn't show it going into the oven and coming out, but my oven's tiny and ghetto, and having the camera on during that and not getting burned would be a little hard, but there it is. So once it cools off, I could bolt it back on the bike, except for I'm not going to, because I'm going to tear the bike apart more. But that's the joy of powder coating. Once it's cooled off, it's ready to use. All right, powder coat machine's still good. So this thing's all beat to tar, but now it's flat black. So looks pretty good, turned out really well. You know, this is definitely the way I want to go. All right, here's the part we don't want to screw up. Okay, oven is preheated. Okay, it's in there. Close the door and cook it for 15 minutes, maybe 20. Okay, it just came out of the oven. It's 400 degrees. So I use my leather gloves to grab the wire and pull it out. We'll just let it cool. But there you go. Flat black powder coated subframe. So the only part left that needs powder coated is the main frame. And I've been grinding on it and sandblasting and removing paint, and I've got most of the paint off. I just used my heat gun and peeled off the Honda sticker that goes right here. I'm going to try to put that back on after I'm done. Got a little bit of sandblasting left to do up in here, but once we get this completely stripped down, it's time to powder coat this. And you may have noticed that there's a problem. I could barely fit that subframe in my oven. And it is way smaller than my main frame. And the solution I have is sitting on top of my oven. When I fold the door down, I can put this metal box on top of the door, and then sitting on top of it is a door for the box. It's an oven extension. Ghetto. Anyway, I'm hoping that the bike will fit in the oven with that extension. So next time I put this camera on, I will probably be test fitting that oven with this frame to see if this is even going to work. And if this doesn't fit in that oven, I have no idea what I'm going to do. There. All right, let's hope that works. All right, the frame is powder coated. It just cooled off, came out of the oven, and I put one bolt into the subframe to hold it all in place. So there we go. It's time to start putting it together as a finished product. All right, here's as far as I've gotten. Engine is in, kind of pseudo in. The swing arm actually has to hold the back of the engine up at this mount here. But the middle part is pretty much done. I got to get the carb back in it, but I'm waiting for the air box. In order to put the air box in, I want to get the rear shock in. The rear shock's blown. I want to put the front forks on, but they used to leak oil till I used a seal saver on them. So I need to change the oil in those. Point is, I got to find a spot to stop the video. So this is it. Thanks for watching. Next series or next portion of this, next episode, if you will, will be getting the suspension all put on it. So see you then. Thanks for watching.